Hi everybody, this is Liam Martin from Running Remote, and I was looking at the top remote work cities all around the world, and I thought to myself, man, I should probably share this on the internet with everyone that is currently here. So without further ado, here are the top 7 remote work cities worldwide as it is defined by me and 2 or 3 weird blog posts on the internet. There are many different ratings of cities that are the best for digital nomads that usually take into account things like city infrastructure, international community, and the speed of the internet. However, as remote work becomes the standard option of many enterprise companies, these factors are not enough. And really, a need of a digital nomad is a little bit different from the need of a remote worker. So there's a ton of like digital nomad spaces or cities that people talk about, but I really wanted to focus on remote worker cities, which are the best places for remote workers worldwide. So today I want to share with you the global index of top cities for remote work by WorkMoton that is based on parameters such as the compliance for hiring and relocation, cost of living, tax rates, and civic infrastructure. This rating is based on a thorough objective research of 80 cities throughout the world. I'm pretty excited about it because I live in one of them. Let's go. The first city is Melbourne. The winner of the rating is Australia's cultural capital, Melbourne. Actually, Melbourne has been cited as the best city for remote work by multiple ratings, including a new report from global property database, NestPick, and others, which makes the results more compelling. The city has extremely easy remote work compliance, including digital nomad visas. You can watch my list of destinations of digital nomad visas in another video. It should be linked up here. And incredible infrastructure and liveliness. Throw in the city's impressive cultural calendar, and it makes sense why Melbourne performed as well as it did. The only downside here are the low vaccination rates and subpar internet speeds, but honestly, the pandemic's gonna be over pretty soon, and you're gonna be able to fly in to Australia, and to me, Melbourne, amazing. I've been there, it's awesome. Number 2 is the city that I am currently living in, Montreal, Canada. It's another highly affordable city. Montreal is honestly fundamentally equipped for remote work. This is why I personally have chose this destination for the next Running Remote conference that will be taking place on May 17th to 18th. Rent rates are low and cost of living here is relatively affordable. However, the high taxation rate, I know, very high taxation rate, does make things slightly more challenging. Additionally, Montreal does not offer a digital nomad visa, adding another barrier to entry for those working from home. But honestly, the internet here is amazing. There are 3 major universities, so it has a very young energy and a very kind of artistic cultural feel. If you're into effectively Paris without the Parisians, Montreal's the place for you. Number 3 is Sydney. Australia is honestly one of the world leaders in remote working conditions, with their 2 main cities making it to the top 3 of the list. Despite a high cost of living and rent affordability making things challenging, Sydney is extremely safe. It has positive remote working infrastructure and scored well in the equality stakes. But the internet speeds could be better. I know my business partner, Robert Rawson, lives in Sydney. I've worked with him for 10 years, and sometimes his internet goes in and out, but other than that, he's very nice, and he was always asking me for shrimps on the Barbie for some reason. That's the only downside of him being Australian. Number 4 is Prague. Prague has been a preferred hub for remote work and relocation for the past decade. So this is just another confirmation that Prague is awesome. With strong scores in both transportation, public education, gender equality, and housing accessibility, Prague tops the rankings for European cities. On the other hand, the Czech capital had relatively low scores in taxation and administrative procedures for residency. So again, that's another issue that you might want to take in consideration, but I would highly suggest you check out Prague. Great location if you want to work remotely for the long term. Number 5 is Toronto. That's probably the most popular destination in Canada. I know it is, but it's not the best destination in Canada. You can argue with me down in the comments below if you're Canadian. Toronto scored high for remote working compliance, coming in 5th for the ease of compliance and 14th for legal requirements. However, it did fall short by not having visa availability. The city slides down the chart when it comes to the cost of living because Toronto is incredibly expensive in taxes, but this makes up by a great civic infrastructure. If you want to work remotely, I mean, Toronto's a little expensive, but it's a great location, in my opinion, for long-term remote workers. Number 6 is Tallinn. And many of you probably have not been to Tallinn, but it is fantastic, and it is located inside of Estonia, which has always been one of the front lines for remote work by being one of the first countries to launch a digital nomad visa program and e-residency for the owners of companies registered in the country. I have e-residency as an example. I highly suggest you go set it up. It costs like 50 euros. The capital of Estonia is one of the most affordable in Europe. The cost of living is extremely low, internet speeds are high, and accommodation is readily available. Tallinn is also one of the most inclusive cities with perpetually high rankings in equality stakes. Also, their second largest export is supermodels. So I would highly suggest you go check out Tallinn. Number 7 is Lisbon. Of course, the rating couldn't be complete without the well-known digital nomad capital of Southern Europe, Lisbon. With the city affordability higher than in Tallinn, easy access to housing, and a high level of equality, the Portuguese capital slightly loses its score when it comes to compliance and taxes, but this can be easily forgiven for access to amazing beaches, great cheap wine, and photo music in the streets. I really like that in Lisbon and Portugal, you can actually sell your crypto tax-free. If you're planning on selling a couple $1 million worth of crypto, I would highly suggest you go and hang out in Lisbon for a year. So where would you relocate your team? Or if you've already had such an experience, please share it down in the comments below. I'd love to be able to hear if you agree or disagree with this list. Again, it wasn't mine, it was WorkMoton, but you can yell at me like it was WorkMoton. And for the first 5 people that comment, you are entered into a raffle for a free ticket to the Running Remote Conference. And other than that, while you're down there, why don't you like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel? It gives me strength. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video.